I'm Nick.
Yeah. So,
For what?
Yes guys, so we're starting off this a little bit different. We're on the docks today, different entrance just over there, the one I used to talk about in my audit videos, where there was an open entrance here, open gate, and the docks are open for everyone to walk around in retrospect, and they're trying to privatise it. But that is not what today's video is about. Let's get into today's video. How about we first just take a look? Still people working on the boats this early morning. So, I mean, today is more of a walk and talk video, but we may get security come approach us because the way we're leaving is pretty much where security are based, and we've got cameras all around here. They've spotted us here before when we've come this way, so yeah. But to get into today's video, I was arrested, as you've probably seen by the intro at the beginning. I was arrested for threats to kill.
I'm Nick.
yeah. So,
For what?
I'll explain in 2 seconds.
Okay, no worries.
The time is 90 minutes past 1. You're going to go for threats to kill and common assault.
Okay. And it's funny because the reason I was there was because the reason I was at the police station that day was to give them evidence that people was threatening my business, threatening my mother, and trying to get the police involved in other matters in the street. And me being me, I've done what I've done. I went to the police station to provide them evidence of any further bullshit, which they ended up saying anyway, and the police ended up going with it anyway. So, Humberside Police, I'm watching you. Just lately though, Humberside Police have not took anything that has been said to be that serious, because it's a constant accusation against myself. There's no evidence. It's the same people spouting this same crap, and they don't have an ounce of a leg to stand on, really. Humberside Police knows them very well for being local, just gobshites, really. And yeah, you would have thought I'd fit into that category of being a local gobshite into the Grimsby area, the amount of videos I've done here. But surprisingly, given context to what is currently going on in the country at the moment and what is currently happening, you have got a lot of Humberside Police officers that like what I do. Surprisingly, never been able to capture it on camera. As you know, they wouldn't say that thing on camera. But yeah, so there's been a few accusations posted publicly to social medias that I've got an uncle in the police force, in Humberside Police. Now, some deluded people might actually believe that, because, as I've said in previous videos, I grew up in Hull. I was born in Leicester and I grew up in Hull. So it could be possible I have, because Hull is Humberside Police as well, so it could be possible that I have family members that could work for the police. But I'm going to tell you now, may shock you, and because it's the truth, that's why it's going to shock you. That's why it's going to be a little bit, whoa, didn't expect that to come out of Ryan's mouth. But the only person to have even been close to getting into the police force that is anywhere near to do with related to me was one of my oldest brothers. Now, there's been a family rift for years. He is a brother of mine, but he's watched the videos. I've had him on a live stream on this channel. He is a brother of mine, but we don't class each other as family. The only reason why I'm putting it to you guys as we are brothers is because that's the technical name. We are related. We haven't spoke to each other in years. Last time I heard, he was working for Eddie Stobart and he was trying to get a job with the police. Now, I've done some digging, and the information that I have found out is that he hasn't got a job with the police as of yet. Now, I say as of yet simply because I don't know if he ever is going to. I don't think Humberside Police will ever allow him to. But let's just switch the camera because I've got a beautiful sight here. One sec. There we go, look at that. Up close and personal with the boats. Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to actually get the job, but I'm going to leave it in the air as a possibility, because he has got a criminal record, and I don't know how that'd go, but yeah. So, bearing in mind we haven't spoken in years, that's the closest you get into a family member of mine being in the police force. But I doubt it's ever going to be legit. It currently is not right now. He's not on the police force. So, yeah. Anyway, that was one allegation, that I've got an uncle inside the police force in Humberside Police. Does not exist. I know of some police that have gave me information in the past that work for Humberside Police, that support the kind of thing I do on YouTube or have done on YouTube. But all that is subsequently private. They're not busy mates of mine. They're not this, that and the other. But they've helped me out with a bit of information here and there. Now, I've always said, I've always agreed to, the police are never your friends. It's true. These guys that give me information are not my friends, nor are they their colleagues' friends. So it's one of them. They are fans, basically. That's the best way to put it. I might not get no more information out of them now after that. Look at this big blockade building behind me, look. Crazy or what? Looks like a prison. But yeah, that's one allegation out of the way. And a lot of other of the simpleton allegations. The worst name you could call anybody. Worst name you could call anybody. Somebody said, the same people have said that about me publicly online. Not on normal courtyard exercise. That's what they've called me. Now, if you know, you know what that means. Obviously it relates back to jail time years ago, when there was wrong-uns in jail and used to put not on normal courtyard exercise. It wasn't allowed to mix with general population, because they get knocked the fuck out basically. But yeah, so that's an accusation by these dumbass people. The thing is, I have contact with my children. I speak to my children. I am nothing of that way inclined. I have took on stepkids. You know, there's just no reason. There's no reason to even think that that is true. But they say it to try and get a rise out of me. But another place that looks like a bit like a prison. Getting fucking stared at now. So I told you I might cause some upset walking around the docks today. But yeah, so it's just bullshit after bullshit. Obviously, they was doing that, then they rang the police saying I'd threatened to kill them, threatened to stab his mother or whatever. His vulnerable blind mother. Let me just add that.
When? You threatened to stab a blind woman!
When?
Got it all on fucking doorbell! Why do you think you was arrested?
I've recorded everything. Everything's on body
Why do
cam.
you think you was arrested?
Everything's on
Why do you think
camera.
you was arrested?
Everything was on camera.
But the same guy turns around and threatens to get his mother down there to beat up my mum.
Mummy.
It's all right,
Proper
my
funny,
mum's
mate.
gonna bang your mum.
Your mum's gonna bang my mum,
Yeah,
yeah?
she's gonna bang your mum.
Yeah. This is what I mean. So she's a vulnerable blind woman, but she can come down and beat my mum up. Okay. Clearly can't be blind unless she, you know what I mean? She shadow boxes for a living. Bit ridiculous. But it is what it is. Some people are just deluded to the fact that they can say whatever they want and not have the consequences. But it is the consequences now in this video. They're going to be publicly shamed on my channel. Yeah, and every snippet to every bit of evidence I'm putting in this video. Taught some sense into him, but is what it is. I'll be in tomorrow if he wants to come down and speak. Anybody wants to come with him?
Yeah. I'll have a chat with him when he gets off the phone from Caden.
Yeah. Then sort it out then. What we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Because I've got quite a few bikes in there that I ain't gonna be able to get rid of by Monday.
No, I know there's quite a few in there.
So we'll see what happens. Right, I'm off, skis.
Right.
I'll see you in a bit. I will do. See ya. You've also got someone called Josh, you know, Exploring with Pablo and Josh. The reason I've not been hanging around or doing many videos with him, well, it's coming out in this video today. So a long time ago, when I had some trouble with the security guard in Freshney Place, he stood there and called Josh a NONCE, not a normal courtyard exercise person. After that, I've heard it come out of several other people's mouths. A few comments on YouTube, by the way. It's taking the scenery. This is why I've come here. It settles my nerves. I can walk and just talk. But several other people, plus comments, plus private messages. So from that, I took a drastic decision a long time ago to stop working with that YouTuber. And now I say it was a drastic decision because, one, I didn't want to be associated with someone that is clearly associated with that walk of life. Now, there was no evidence to prove anything. It was just my feelings, it just didn't add up. Some things just didn't add up, I didn't feel right, didn't sit with me right. So I kind of just, after a while, just stopped hanging around with him. Completely left him to his own devices. Yeah, then I got sent something to search. I got sent a Facebook page to search and to look at. Went and looked at this Facebook page, and I think the main post was about Josh's brother, Corey, messaging a minor. Messaging a couple of minors. When apparently he was not like that. He got accused of something to do with his ex-girlfriend. That is what Josh said. So when people was attacking Josh's surroundings, Josh's family's surroundings, he blamed it all on Corey's ex-girlfriend. Now, if Corey's ex-girlfriend was a 14-year-old girl that he'd groomed online, I can 100% agree with those people who's giving them a load of shit for it. But if it was an of-age ex-girlfriend, then why would he be called a not on normal courtyard exercise person? You wouldn't, right? So when I found these messages, I seen that it was Corey talking to an underage child, trying to get pictures, I think. Or was that off the women? I can't remember. But wrong anyway, regardless of whichever way it was. I just don't want to put accusations out on the internet that ain't true. I'm putting up screenshots as I'm talking, so it should put everyone's mind to rest that what I'm saying is true. So also with that, he was freakishly, now I say freakishly, absolutely on every female's inbox. Every female on Facebook in the Grimsby area, he was on their Facebook, messaging them, spamming them. Stupid messages as well. Like, let's have a look what's popping up on screen. It's crazy. So, yeah. So Josh has defended this guy to me, to others. And yet, since all this debacle's come out, and publicly he's took sides with Callum, the guy that wants to say, I'm a vulnerable person because I've got mental health. Right, don't make you a vulnerable person, mate. Suffering with mental health should make you a stronger person. Sometimes you can have weak moments. I know, I suffer with mental health myself. And yeah, it doesn't make you a target. It doesn't make you a vulnerable person. It makes you who you are. You can't just rely on that to go, I'm a vulnerable person, don't threaten me. Okay. But Josh has publicly decided to side with that wrong'un as well. And during this time, I have found out information about Callum and Josh's brother. So because me and Josh had already fell out, he's obviously took somebody else's side. And I found out information about people. And it's as obvious as it goes. Josh is protecting his brother, who is a wrong'un. And Callum is just a wrong'un. He's just filth. Absolute filth. Oh, I've come to a dead end now. I've come to an absolute dead end. Sugar. It's a long walk now. I was meant to walk around the entirety of the docks. But yeah, so, you know, it's one of them. I'd already took a step away from Josh months previous to find out information I found out. And everything come out of the woodwork about Callum when we fell out. You know, the reason he's with somebody that's God knows how older than him and an alcoholic. The reason he hasn't got a house of his own is staying with somebody else, and that somebody else is Nathan. But I don't even think he's on the lease. I'll be honest, I think it's his missus on the lease. I'll be truthful with that. And Nathan has had children, got tattoos of his children's names, but doesn't see them. And they're on the same coin that's calling me a wrong'un. I see my kids as regularly as I can. I see my children. So this is just going to be for Daddy when you go back to Mummy's, yeah? So go on then, what do you want to say to Daddy's camera?
What lucky box?
Because I'm not with all the mothers. I've got 3 baby mums. Not with all the mums, but I see my kids when I can, as much as I can. And yeah, so I mean, all this shit started off of a business. We was meant to go in partnership together. Me and Callum was meant to go in partnership together. He started seeing money roll in, but wasn't seeing profits. Well, sorry, when you first open up a business, you put the profits that you do currently make back in, so you don't really take a wage for the first few months. Bearing in mind you got rent to pay, electric to pay, and then you got to buy more stock. So because he didn't see profit straight away, he started flapping out, and then it caused a big to-do. And police were involved from that moment. But what can you say? He's a vulnerable person with mental health issues. He's not. He's just a fit git. He thought he could do YouTube. No. He runs away. He thought he could do a business. A DJ. He thought he could do a DJing business, right? I got him 2 gigs. When he went there to assess what space he had for these 2 gigs and confirm the gig dates, both of them contacted me privately and went, no, do not want him DJing. He's a tramp. Dude, if it's no one else, then I don't want anyone. All right, no worries. Spoke to him about his hygiene, about his sense of dress. Straight over his head. Okay, cool. All right, cool. But he started flapping out of a business. He couldn't do business to save his life. He couldn't do fuck all to save his life. I'll be deadly serious. But he's one of the people take roughly around £2,000 a month off the benefit system. Now I know, because whilst overseeing business, paperwork was needed to be provided to certain locations, and I seen a bank statement. Just over I think it was £2,083 he gets a month because of his mental health issues. Now, I've never seen the government pay that much for someone, especially considering some of you might go, oh, well, that could be DSS for his rent. Like £400 could have it. All right. He lives with somebody else. So if he is claiming DSS, he's claiming it wrongly because the house, they're also on benefits and they claim DSS. Which I found out later on down the pipeline, trust me. But all I've got to really say on the whole matter now is I've literally ended up, the amount of times the Humberside police have stopped and spoke to me about this guy and his accusations. They came into my place of work, they spoke to me about me apparently having a firearm, a gun. They got an anonymous tip off that I have got a gun. Now the 2 officers that turned up to my business was not even taser trained. That shows you how serious they took that call. That call wasn't serious. They had to fill out paperwork on it because they had to turn up and say, have you got firearms? No. I says, anytime officers want to check me for firearms at any point, I says, I know where the bullshit's come from. Because the address they gave was not my address. So I knew it was them. And yeah, so I said, anytime officers want to check me for firearms, just pull me up. Check me for firearms anytime you want. They put that note on the system. Not been stopped by one police officer. Not been stopped since then. Before that, there was all sorts of allegations to the police, where sometimes they'd stop and speak to me. Sometimes they'll give me a phone call. They've got my number on system. That's because I'm a local YouTuber and I do what I do, and I have done for a while. I've got my number on system. They gave me a call once saying an accusation has been made. I says, cool, what accusation? Threats of violence in the street. I says, when? They says, this so-and-so date at so-and-so o'clock, roughly, in Grimsby. I says, all right. That's funny, I wasn't in Grimsby. I was at home. He's like, okay. So, would you mind being able to prove that? I says, yeah. I says, I can prove I caught the train home the day before. And he says, okay, if we need to speak to you any further, we will do. Nothing since. Okay. So, they ended up getting this guy. I'm not going to start speaking about it too much because a lot of people think we're bezzy mates. And I'm not bezzy mates with anybody. I don't trust anybody. And I'm putting it out there publicly. I don't trust anybody. I'm not bezzy mates with anyone. Apart from the people that have shown that they have had my back since day one. Like the likes of Marty Blackburn. He's had my back since day one. And he is a true boyo. And is, you know what I mean? One of my favourite people on this planet. But they end up hiring this other guy. I was going to do a whole YouTube about him. I've done TikToks about him because he made TikToks about me. Because I was constantly getting the police called on me. He made a TikTok saying, oh, when Ryan Rampage says he'll never go to the police, but then he does. I'm stood talking to an officer in the street. That's because I had an accusation against me. I was rectifying that situation. And I was at work, so it's kind of one of them situations, isn't it? But anyway, so they ended up hiring this guy to annoy me, play loud music, and basically get on my tits. Eventually, this guy has said, no more. I don't know what I'm arguing for, and apologise for the things he has said. That's why names are not getting mentioned. That's the only reason why. He's apologised for his part in the stupidity arguments and his part arguing with me and stuff like that. He says he don't even know why he was doing it in the first place. He doesn't have a clue. He had no reason to. But these people have just carried on until recently. Until recently, where I've had the police come out to my house, sit down in the same room as me and my children, look through what this guy's posting on social media, look through all the messages I had at the beginning of the falling out, look through every video of the incidents that was ever reported. Anytime anything happened, my camera was always on. That's why I've been able to pop stuff up on screen or pop video clips in this video. Now, he went through all that, and I turned around and says, listen, it's about time homicide police pulled the finger out their arse and done something about it. Because if not, he was close to punching me one of the days, right? And I literally offered up my face.
Go on, do it on camera.
Yeah?
Go on,
That's
go on.
what you do, you hide behind
Go
the
on.
camera. Because you were
I'm
not.
right here. Face is right here, mush.
What happened to your
I
mother?
am fucking gone.
What happened
Face
to your
right here,
mother?
mush.
And he was close to punching me. So I says to the officer, I says to him, if he actually does grow the balls to actually swing a punch, I'm going to punch him back. And he was like, you have a right to defend yourself. I says, the problem is, I might not just punch him once or twice. I might really fucking hurt him because of all this shit being built up. And he says, right, I'll note that down. You note that down. You note that down. Now, if I wasn't in the space on the internet that I am, I wasn't a YouTuber, and I wasn't known to the police as much as I am because of YouTube, then I probably would have dealt with that in a much different way, a lot sooner. So I've got video about me outside of his house. Apparently I was threatening to slice his mum up. Nope, your mum was stood outside having a conversation with me, turning around calling you a pathological liar. Why I kept on calling him a liar on message? Because he's a liar. Stuff.
I don't think you can string two sentences together without lying.
Funniest bit. Yeah, so this guy ain't got a leg to stand on. I was always recording everything. I've always said I could lie, you could lie, the camera doesn't. So I'm just putting this out there for the 11 hours I did spend in a cell for his bullshit. Have the fucking keys. Anyone speaks to my mother, me or anyone like that again, trust me, they'll get fucking laid out. 100%. Understand? Understand? Keep away from my business, keep away from my fucking family, otherwise I will put somebody on the fucking floor. Do you understand me? I don't care. You let them fucking know, innit? You all need to keep the fucking mouth shut. I've got enough on here for harassment. The officer said that when they fucking turned up and all. Yeah? I ain't one to be fucked around with. End of. And yeah, it's a crazy video, and it's a bit long now, so I'm going to cut it short there. Obviously the evidence you've seen is going to be on the footage. Any further evidence I might put in towards the end. Oh, and by the way, That's the clip I'm going to put at the end. When it was Josh, Callum and Nathan, all three of them, I pressed them on the bus. All three of them shit the pants. For talking shit with me online, I come and press them on the bus. They shit themselves. Carry on sitting up there and chatting as much shit as I like. But I'm not fucking brave enough, I know. Just threaten me with other people, putting two pussies doing it themselves. Fucking come on in, come on in, come on in. Do something! Do something, big man! Do something, big man! Do something, big man! Do something, big man! Do something! Do something! Do something!
So what happens?
Do something then, big man! Do something then, big man! Do something, big man! Do something then, big man! Do something! Do something! I'll lay you out right now! Do something, big man! You ain't gonna do fucking shit, mate! Shut your fucking mouth! You threaten my fucking mother again, and I will fuck you up! Yeah, I will fuck you up! And Josh wants to go around saying, apparently, not saying this is factual, so before you go in, Josh, apparently I was the cause of his nana's death. Me and this other guy. I've not spoken to this other guy or had a full conversation with him in months. So for me and this guy to have done that, been near impossible. I reckon it's because you're a prick and your brother's a wrong 'un. Now be that as what it may, I'm going to cut a video there. We're going to carry on walking around the docks. I need to come off the docks now because I've got somewhere else to be this morning. But I thought I'd do this on the docks because this is where I first met Josh. Ooh. And this is where the first time I should have known he was a bitch. Because he rang me whilst I was at work and said a load of police are coming down to the docks to kick him off and his stepdaughter and that. So I gave him down to help out. And yeah, should have known from then he was a bitch. It is what it is. Anyways, any other footage that happens whilst I'm on the docks, I'll put into the end of this video and any other evidence. Well, yeah, in a bit, guys. For me?
What are you recording for?
Well, for anybody that wants to see it.
Wait, you're not supposed to be on here.
There's a public cafe at the back, so it's public right away.
What's the difference between a cafe and us?
Want to bet?